Hey guys, Hangover Gang, I hope you're all well and you're all good. I have a reaction to Tom MacDonald's Dear Slim, which he put out just before I started my channel. And I think it's fitting because Dear Slim addresses a lot of issues and misconceptions about Tom's relationship with Eminem. And, and it was actually produced by Eminem, which seems to have sailed over the heads of a lot of Eminem fans. Anyway, guys, let's enjoy Dear Slim.
Dear Slim, I thought you might have heard of me maybe, cause lately everywhere I turn someone's comparing us crazy. I never would have thought when I was bumping Biggie and Pac that I would buy bleach in a box and become the product of shade. But I'm here.
Now that's really funny in certain ways. I mean, Dear Slim by Tom, he's actually paying homage to Eminem and Eminem's song Stan. I mean, it starts out the same way with him sort of bleaching his hair. He's wearing the vest, you know, the white vest that Eminem was wearing in that, or the Stan fan was wearing in that. And then you have, it cuts to the bit where he's drowning in the water and swimming away. So to me, he's paying homage to Eminem. But also there's something else he said in those first few bars. Because he said, you know, it was at the time he was bleaching his hair, and at the time with Biggie and Tupac. And the reason I say that is because there was a lot of beef between Biggie and Tupac, which led to, you know, whatever. But there seems to be a lot of beef between Eminem's fans and Tom's fans. But to me, there's no exclusivity here. Just because you like Eminem doesn't mean you hate Tom, or just because you like Tom doesn't mean you hate Eminem. You can be a fan of both. And what Tom's saying is he is a fan of Eminem, and as far as I'm aware, Tom has always said this. He grew up as an Eminem fan. So there's so much madness in this place, you know, where because you're an Eminem fan, okay, you can't like Tom, and because you're a Tom fan, you can't like Eminem. But you know, it is what it is. Let's carry on, guys.
Now, hi, my name is Tom MacDonald. People call me controversial. I'm the one that counterculture follows. Every song I drop's a problem. I offend an awful lot with topics commenting on race and politics. I'm pretty awesome. Dear Slim, I know we're very different politically. Seems like some of your biggest fans are the victims I'm triggering. They're convinced I don't like you, which ain't consistent with history. I was picked on as a kid and they don't know what Slim did for me.
So there you go. He's saying as a kid, he was a Slim fan. But also, what Tom's saying is he's courted controversy, whether he's liked it or not, throughout his career. And that's the same thing that Eminem did when Eminem first started out, etc. And even now, and politically as well, because I still remember there was one time Eminem came out against George Bush. I'm sure he did. George Bush Jr. I'm sure he did. Politically, he came out against George Bush Jr. And that received a lot of flack, if I remember rightly. But there you go. But what Tom's saying is that politically, he said a few things. Also, sort of like with the politically correct brigade, you know, and the cancel culture brigade have jumped on him. So basically, he's saying that he's in the same situation as Eminem, but you know, there should be no friction between them. But the friction seems to be between Eminem fans, you know. So let's just rewind that bit, because I think I might have skipped over a little bit here. Just rewind a little bit more. Let's go.
I offend an awful lot with topics commenting on race and politics. I'm pretty awesome. Dear Slim, I know we're...
So he said he was commenting on race and politics, but he feels like he's pretty awesome. Tom's right, though. Tom is right. And I keep saying this. When Tom said all lives matter, he was absolutely correct. I mean, Black Lives Matter, yes, Black Lives Matter, but white lives matter. All lives matter, you know, whether you're Indian, whether you're Chinese, whether you're from, you know, the Aboriginal sort of state, wherever you are, everyone's lives matter. We're all human beings. So what Tom's saying is correct. You know, we don't have to single out anyone, but we're actually stronger as a collective. But the moment you start to pull out people and you start to, you know, sort of categorize people and pull them out into sections, you weaken us as a whole. And it makes us easy to sort of divide and conquer. We are all stronger as one unit. And that's what Tom's saying. And Tom is absolutely correct there. I don't care what anyone says. I will fight for his right to say that to my dying breath. Tom is right. All lives matter. I can rewind that. Let's kick into Dear Slim.
Politics, I'm pretty awesome. Dear Slim, I know we're very different politically. Seems like some of your biggest fans are the victims I'm triggering. They're convinced I don't like you, which ain't consistent with history. I was picked on as a kid and they don't know what Slim did for me. But I'm here now, and I fight the system just like you. Was addicted to pills and liquor and quit them just like you.
So Tom is giving all the areas where him and Slim or Eminem are alike. He was addicted to pills and to alcohol. Eminem was addicted to pills and alcohol as well. You know, everyone knows about his battle and Tom's battle as well. So, I mean, they've gone through the same processes. They've gone through the same issues. So, in effect, what Tom's saying is he's got an affinity with Eminem. He really does.
Claim that you hate me, but Marshall, that can't be right, dude. You'd have to hate yourself as well as Marshall. I'm you.
See, he's saying that if people believe that Eminem hates Tom MacDonald, then it's crazy because that means he hates himself. I mean, Tom and Eminem are very similar characters. That's what Tom's trying to say. So in effect, if it is true that Eminem hates Tom, then Eminem must hate himself. That's so correct. And I think we're just kicking into the chorus here, guys.
Marshall, remember back when you became Eminem. You changed the world with a pen. Well, now I'm just like you.
I like that. He said, Marshall, remember when you were Eminem? You changed the whole world with a pen. But now I'm just like you. And that is so true. What Tom is doing is Tom is writing some of the best lyrics in hip hop that I've heard for a long time. I'm not saying, and even Tom will agree, he's not the best rapper, he's not the best MC in the entire world, but what he does as a whole is fantastic. But saying that, I always said that, in my opinion, Tom is an artisan and he's an architect of the art of writing as well, because Tom triggers things in me, and I think he triggers things in so many other people. I love what Tom writes, and I would say, like, you can peel what Tom says like segments in an orange. There is so much, or maybe the skin of an onion. You know, you take off one layer, there's layers underneath and layers underneath, and it takes quite a long time to get his true meaning. So a lot of people just look at the surface and they get triggered and they start running around. Oh, cancel Tom, Tom's this, oh, Tom's that, oh, Tom's being racist, oh, he's being prejudiced against this, oh, Tom doesn't like black people, Tom doesn't like people who are different. They are talking absolute nonsense. If they actually listened to what he was saying, took a time out and actually stressed and actually read what he was talking about, listen to Tom speaking, they'd understand. Tom is one of the good guys, trust me. Oh dear, that's what triggers me. Tom doesn't trigger me in that way. It's the other people, the cancel culture people, that trigger me. And he made that song Snowflake. Is them people. Those people are so thin-skinned. You know, they're so thin-skinned. What's that song Jay-Z said? Dirt off the shoulder. Get to the back of the queue. Trust me. Anyway, let's get back to some Tom MacDonald.
Everybody triggered and they think I suck, but I don't give a what. But I don't give a what. Dear Slim, I thought that maybe because you paved the way for me, you might relate to weight that Caucasian rappers are carrying. They're constantly comparing us to you, it's embarrassing. Never gaining their approval, it's just hate we're inheriting. But I'm here now, go ahead and hate it, don't hurt.
That's so true. I mean, you have two MCs. You know, in a way they are very alike, in a way they're very different. But they're united because they're both white and they're both good and they're both at the height of their careers. You know, so those are the similarities, but there are differences as well as similarities. But what people are trying to do, they're trying to put a wedge in between them, or a wedge in between the fans. So what they're trying to say is pick a team, you know, red or blue. But it's not as easy as that. That's what Tom's saying. You know, I mean, the similarity is they both rap and they both, you know, choose controversial subjects. But they're both good at what they do. But, you know, there's no, what's the word? Exclusivity. You don't, you know, or how can I explain the word? You don't have to just say, okay, I like Eminem because I like Eminem, I can't like Tom MacDonald. Or I like Tom MacDonald because I like Tom MacDonald, I can't like Eminem. And that's what a lot of these media outlets and all these other sort of people are trying to do. They're trying to put a wedge in between them, and it's not going to work. But let's get back to Tom.
Call me culture vulture, garbage, those are ignorant words. I kill a vulture, cook the poultry in a pan till it's burnt. See, Marshall, I'm just like you, I'm flipping the bird. Dear Slim, I just want to give you your flowers. I spent hours memorizing all of your songs in 2000.
See that? He said, Dear Slim, I want to give you your flowers. And when you give someone the flowers, that means you give them the utmost respect. That you say, yes, you know, you are great. I admire what you've done. I respect you. I support you. And that's what happens. A lot of people only get their flowers when they're dead. But in hip hop, when you give someone the flowers, that means you give them the utmost respect. And, you know, Tom is saying, how many more times can he say, you know, in different words, you know, Eminem, I am a fan of yours. But Eminem's fans hate Tom. I don't understand it. It's crazy. It's crazy. And there's nothing I didn't say about this song. So get into the music on this song as well, guys. This music is just unbelievably great. What I liked, and at some point I think we'll hear it again, is that they are using a real piano. I can hear the real piano keys. I can hear how they're being depressed. I can hear sort of, you know, I don't even know what the word is, but not the resonance, but I can hear, you know, once the key is released, I can hear the release of the keys. And I love real piano keys. I love real pianos. Whether talking Steinways, you know, Baby Grands, you know, the Rhodes piano, I love them all. Anyway, let's get back to Tom.
The reason I screamed it all of my teachers. A teen, I needed your CD on repeat and shady space on my t-shirt. But I'm here now. Call me controversial just like you. We're both white, both red, both of our eyes blue. Screw any guy who tries to say you've changed and don't like you. Cause in my mind it's still 99. And I'm you. Marshall and Lambert back when you became Eminem. You changed the world with a pen. Well now I'm just like you. I don't give a what, saying what I want with my fingers up. Everybody triggered and they think I suck. But I don't give a what, nah, 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 nah. I don't give a what, nah, 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 nah.
I love that chorus. That chorus is great. I don't know why it happens, but all these things flash through my head when I hear stuff. And straight away, for some reason, Eddie Murphy flashed into my head. And I'm not sure if it's the Raw video or was it the Delirious one. But do you remember the time when it says, I've got an ice cream, I've got an ice cream, you can't have one, you can't have one. Because your mum's on welfare, your mum's on welfare. Then he drops his ice cream and he starts crying. That's exactly what Tom MacDonald sounds like just there. The Eddie Murphy bit there was hilarious. You know, because 1 minute, you know, he's got something that the other guy hasn't got. And the next minute he's crying. But I think the analogy I'm trying to make with that one is that Tom is in a position where he has something a lot stronger than so many other people, and the other people on the outside looking in are jealous of Tom, you know, so they're wailing and whining, you know, but Tom doesn't care because Tom's going to say what he's going to say, and if you like him, great. If you don't like him, great. The world's still going to turn, but Tom's still going to be Tom. And that's the analogy that I got. It's just straight away, I just got that Eddie Murphy thing. So I'm sorry if that's gone over people's heads, but Eddie Murphy was a comedian. And I think this was in the early 80s, like 83, 84. But if you get a chance to see those videos, see Raw and see Delirious. They're very, very funny. But in this era of political correctness, they probably wouldn't be able to play them anymore. But there you go. Anyway, back to Tom.
Whether you love me or hate me or think I'm crazy, up to 100 grand to get a beat from Shady. Really hope when I bought it he wasn't angry, but I really had to tell him that he changed me. The truth of the matter is, without you, Marshall Mathers, I would've committed suicide before I was a rapper.
So the truth of the matter about you, Marshall Mathers, is that I would have committed suicide before I became a rapper. Whoa. So Eminem has changed Tom MacDonald's life massively, because he's saying so. Without Eminem and, you know, being in his life and listening to his music, he wouldn't be here today. That is really, really, that hits home hard. That hits home hard. Let's rewind that. Let's listen to that.
I really had to tell him that he changed me. The truth of the matter is, without you, Marshall Mathers, I would've committed suicide before I was a rapper. You showed me that I could do it. I didn't need to be black, or I know it's stupid, but I just had to do my best to say thank you. Marshall, remember back when you became Eminem. You changed the world. became Eminem. You changed the world with a pen. Well, now I'm just like you. I don't give a what, saying what I want with my fingers up. Everybody triggered and they think I suck, but I don't give a what. Nah, 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 nah. I don't give a what. Nah, 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 nah.
Oh, guys, that was fantastic. And yes, honorary mention to Nova Rockefeller. Nova is the backbone to Tom MacDonald, and she supported Tom through thick and thin. And Nova, in her own right, is a great artist herself. She's great on the the videography, the production. I haven't even talked about that today. I apologize, Hangover Gang. I mean, that's an amazing video, and it pays a lot of respect and homage to Eminem. And Eminem actually, I think he produced this, or he was involved in this at some point. So, guys, if Eminem is actually on this and he's producing, he's working with Tom, what does that tell you? These guys have no hate towards each other. So, we just need to get along, gang. Just, but that was a great track, and I'm actually glad Tom put that out. It just shows that Tom has paid his utmost respects to Eminem. He likes Eminem. He's always liked Eminem. He looks up to Eminem. Yes, in some ways they're competing because, as an artist, you compete with everyone. But there's room for everyone in this game, and Tom is, I think, the best at what he does. Eminem is the best at what he does, and I really have a lot of affinity. I relate a lot. To be honest with you, I relate more to Tom MacDonald than I do to Eminem, because I think right now Tom is talking about a lot of topics that really sort of are on my radar, on my horizon, that relate to me, and I just love the way he comes across and loves the way he presents those topics. Him and them are different in the way that their styles are, but they're both great at what they do. So yeah, this was fantastic. So Dear Slim is paying Tom's respects to Eminem, Slim Shady, and I thought that was an absolutely brilliant track. There were so many areas and so many bits of those bars that could have gone into more depth. But to be honest with you, I probably need another half an hour. But Tom is great at what he does. I love the way he presents. I love the way he is on film. I love the way he sounds, the music. Actually, I love that chorus. Yeah, I think that actually made it for me. That chorus was great. So yep, another one in the bag, guys. Dear Slim, fantastic. Loved it. Tom MacDonald, Hangover Gang, thank you very much for listening, watching, and thank you very much. If you want to put your comments in the comment section, they'll be appreciated. Please like and subscribe, and please share this with all your friends. And Hangover Gang forever, Hangover Gang for life. And also, I've started, I think I've just done one so far. It's going to be a little series going on, because Tom does speak to us. He speaks to the public quite a lot, speaks about all areas of his life. So I'm going to be doing some sections called Tom Shorts. So if you look out on my channel, there's one already, Tom Shorts, that's gone out in the last couple of days. And yep, there'll be more to come. So guys, please like and subscribe and share this with all your friends. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and thank you very much for interacting with me as well. So guys, have a really great day. Love you lots. Have a great day. Take care of yourself, and thank you.